Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast, Somebody's Son, Season 1, Episode 9 through 10 recap. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, leave a review.
Yeah, Karen says, hey guys, Wednesday? I know. And it's because that was because of me. I'll be honest. I completely forgot I was supposed to go to an event last night, and I had to hit Terrell early yesterday morning and say, hey, I forgot. I got to go to this event. Let's do Wednesday. And then he still hit me. Hey, so we're jumping on regular time? Because obviously you didn't read my text.
You text me at 6 something in the morning. I'm not paying attention to text that early in the morning.
I mean, some of us work early.
No, that's great for you. Some of us don't.
It's not my fault. You're still checking your eyelids for cracks at 6 in the morning. Real people up working at that time. Interesting with this episode because there's so much, not episode, but episodes. There were 2 that they put in this one.
Yeah,
and
I didn't know it.
Yeah, which is wild because I looked at it, I was like 9, 10. I'm like, okay, well I know we just did 8, so this 9, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I had to look at the dates. I'm looking at the dates because on mine I have Philo, so it shows all the episodes that's coming, right?
Right.
But it also gives a date. We'll record. It says new. We'll record. But those 2, I was like, wait a minute. So I watched 9. I watched 10, and then you had to go back because you watched 10 first, right?
Yeah, because I just went to the first one that popped up, and I looked at the date, and I was like, oh, okay, perfect. That was that days. That was Saturdays, and I watched episode 10. So when you called me, you're like, did you see this? I'm like, what are you talking about? I had no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, there's 2 episodes. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
well, that just makes a whole lot to cover in this review. And so what we'll do is not by episode. We're going to just do it. We're going to treat these 2 episodes like one, and we're going to go house by house, right? So we get to go start over in the house without the doorbell first. with Josh, and we find out that they're going to have this family style seafood boil, right? And then Omar will get to eliminate someone. Of course, we've seen this happen already in one of these, right?
right.
So this is about to happen. The women have to pick their side dishes, and it's a random pick. What'd you think of the side dishes they had to do?
Well, it was mac and cheese, dirty rice, potato salad. To be honest, I don't think I've made either one.
Really?
Myself. No, I've not made either of these myself.
Okay, I mean,
the
made dirty rice.
Mac and cheese I've done out of a box. The Kraft
That's
mac
not
and cheese
mac
when I was
and
a
cheese.
kid. I know, but that's all I've done when I was a kid. I've not done real soul food mac and cheese. I haven't done that.
What kind of?
I haven't had to make it. Other people make it.
Okay.
I played it. Can you make a good home, from scratch mac and cheese?
Yes, I pride myself on my mac and cheese.
Well, good for you. That's awesome.
Oh, you thought I was going to say no?
Yeah.
It's the reason why I judge other people's mac and cheese, right? Like this one, I was like, where's the cheese on this mac and cheese? And here's a strange thing. Because in Charleston, some people put mustard in their mac and cheese.
Really?
That's an abomination. Don't you ever do that. It's terrible.
How's it taste? Does it taste bad?
I hate mustard, so you know how I think it
Okay,
tastes.
so it doesn't matter. Just the fact that mustard's in it is gross. Got it.
Exactly. Thank you.
Sounds odd.
Thank you, Monica. Ugh.
Yeah, that sounds odd.
Here's how funny it is. Somebody got it from a soul food restaurant, right? And I tasted it. I'm like, this tastes funny. What is off about this? What is? Does this thing have mustard in it? They're like, yeah, of course it does. Yuck'em. What the crap is that? Well, Chambrium notices that there are a lot of chairs, there are a lot of seats. There's a lot of space. I don't think it's just us. There are going to be more people coming, right? And sure enough, Michael, Joshua's older brother, shows up. Alexa, Lexi's best friend, shows up. Sharon, Tamaris's mom, and Jada, Tamaris's best friend, and then Kingston, Chambriel's best friend, are the guests of honor at this seafood boil. What'd you think of their presence?
I thought it was great. I thought their presence was great. It was interesting because I just don't buy it. They didn't know they were coming.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that.
Right.
We can play that game. I was more shocked at the food presentation because I'm looking at the corn, the potatoes, and some of the seafood. And I'm just like, this looks a little light.
And what, light on the seasoning or just light, not a lot?
Light on the seasoning just didn't look like a lot for a seafood boil. It just looked really light.
Because you are big on your crawfish boil,
right.
So yeah, this is a big
deal. I get it.
For
Mine has like 30, 40 people. Mm-hmm. I get it. There's only 8, 9 people there, but still look a little light. But I get it. Own is on a budget.
They spent the money on the house, okay? Yeah. So the dates are in the backyard. So after the guests leave, Michael sits down to talk with because Oma says, you need to help us with this decision, right? We got to eliminate somebody. So he sits down with Joshua and Oma, and he says the things that he likes and doesn't like, right? Like he likes Lexi and all that she has to offer, except he doesn't like 2 things she also has to offer.
Yeah, he said he likes Lexi, but them kids. That's how he worded it. But them kids, which we've been saying that from the beginning.
No, you've been saying that. That is so disrespectful. The kids ain't done nothing to you. Why they catching strays?
No one said the kids did anything wrong, but I'm just saying if a guy has 3 women to choose from that like him, one has 2 kids, the other 2 don't, the one with the kids is eliminated. Pretty easy.
Automatic?
Why would you not? You got 2 other ones. All things equal at this point.
They definitely weren't equal.
The big difference is one has 2 kids. The other ones don't.
Okay.
And what did Michael tell him? Michael said, "Are you ready to be a father?"
Yes.
To someone else's children. That's a big responsibility. As an NFL player, he could get traded. He could have to go here. You got to uproot 2 little young kids. It's just a lot to have to deal with.
That was a great question because are you ready for kids? Yeah. No. Are you ready for kids that aren't yours? And that was a great point. I like the way that he did kind of word that, but I just want to point out the 2 kids eliminating first. Come on, one of them can't even buy a whole outfit; they just buy portions of it, and the other one just has nothing to say. Which is what they were saying. Oma thinks Tamaris is too reserved for their family, which tells me their family there's a lot of energy, right? And we kind of see that,
right.
Joshua says she's nice, but what else? She needs to show him something. And Michael said she sounds good. And if it sounds too good, then you have a question mark.
I thought that was funny that all he could say is, she sounds good.
Yeah.
What does that really mean? She sounds good. She sounds really good.
Right. And does she check the boxes? I think that's what he's probably trying to say. There's nothing bad there, but that we can see is almost what he's saying. Because there's not a whole lot to go on. What do you think about what he said about Chambriel?
She's cool people, but she's not Joshua's type. At least he said what he usually goes for.
Right.
But she's not his type. And Josh wasn't attracted to Chambriel at first.
Right.
And I still don't see him liking her like that.
But he likes her personality.
I get it, but
not everybody's you.
It's not about everybody's me. I'm looking at him, NFL player, fit, all that active. Chambriel, I don't know if they're a good match. I don't think she's his type.
Mm-hmm. Well, you never know. We'll find out. Because there are things to go on here, right? Like the elimination is happening. And first of all, terrible edit. That was so bad. That was grade school bad. Very terrible edit on Oma's words. I can't believe y'all actually even let that air. But as Oma is giving this whole thing, Tamaris is looking like she doesn't care one way or other whether she gets chosen or not. Because you knew Chambriel was going to get picked the first time, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I knew that.
Were you surprised? Well, obviously you weren't surprised that Tamaris was picked second.
No, not at all. Because I knew it was the kid issue. Mm-hmm. And that's really all it boiled down to for them and Lexi. Between Oma, Michael, and even Josh. The thing they had against Lexi was she had the 2 kids.
Yeah.
And I understand. And even it was really interesting because here's the problem. I think a lot of people make judgments about people with kids.
Right.
And Oma did it because she said that if you start to raise someone else's kids, eventually the father comes back.
Right.
And you don't want any drama. Well, what if there's no drama there?
Yeah, and some of them daddies don't ever come back.
Yeah, what if there's no drama there? What if Lexi has it going on? It's no big deal. And her and the dad, they have a good co-parenting relationship. All could be good. It's possible. Now, don't get me wrong. I've dated a lot of women with children, and a lot of them don't have good relationships with the dad. So there's a lot of drama that happens. So I see both sides.
It's interesting because, to your point, they did say she meets everything else with him except this one thing, right?
Right.
And then they eliminate her, and Lexi decides to turn into the Bond villain on the way out to the car.
Yeah, I already packed my stuff. I knew. Like,
You
just
know
be like, all right, then cool. Yeah, cool. Just walk on out. Now I wonder how Lexi feels when she sees the preview of the episode 11, when Josh is talking about, well, I'm an NFL player.
Well, we see how other people act to that, so we'll see. That'll be interesting, actually. By the way, your frat Sean says, "I'll be the stepdaddy, doggone it."
All right, you go for it, man.
Meanwhile, Monica's saying, "I don't want a guy that only likes my personality."
Facts. I don't want to be with somebody like her personality is great. No, I think she's hot. I can't wait to make out with her. I can't take pictures of your personality and show my friends.
Why you got to show your friends?
Well, you're proud of your boo. Like, this is my babe right here. You're just like, look at her. She's gorgeous. But you can't be like, yeah, look at her. Forget all this physical stuff. Her personality, though. Just talk to her.
It's as long as you find her beautiful, who cares what anybody else thinks?
100%, but still, I need more than just personality.
See, that's the problem. Y'all just too damn shallow, man.
Now,
not okay.
Pigs have amazing personalities. Everybody doesn't have them as pets.
They don't have good personalities. It just tastes good when you fry them up as bacon.
Have you not seen Charlotte's Web? Have
No.
you not seen these movies?
I haven't. I refuse to.
Pigs with personalities?
I don't need my bacon talking back to me. Not okay says no Newports, no braids, no mac and cheese, side eye Terrell. You need to add no kids too, because apparently he don't want nobody with kids.
Hold on. This is all wrong. This is wrong. I don't smoke anymore, and so I wouldn't want somebody that smokes Newports.
Right.
Braids, I'm with you. No mac and cheese. I didn't say I got to be with somebody who doesn't make mac and cheese. I said I've never made it. I love mac and cheese, but I never made it. So that whole thing right there is wrong. Sly A, don't put that on the list. Just ignore that.
Look, before we move on from these two, Elsie Charm has a great point. It says what was more alarming is Joshua's reaction. Because we'd seen this before, the clip of him saying, "Get the f*** up out of here," right? And I see what she said. His reaction there in that moment, he was boiling in that moment.
Yeah, but I didn't like that about Josh at that
Right.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like you weren't interested. Mm-hmm. Now what you're doing is you're insulted because she wasn't interested in you. Mm-hmm. And now you're trying to make it personal.
Yeah.
You weren't going to pick her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like you knew that.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's upset, why is that emotional to you? I thought that was his ego getting in the way.
James says the wife and I just realized we missed the first episode, but also glad in a way. Just because says, please love my personality. The heck with looks.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I get it.
You're the first one to say he looks fade. So, I mean, but Gabrielle is there with you. Everyone wants that nephew. Is that you approval?
Just saying.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice if it's like, oh, that's your girl. Thank you. Thanks for getting her off the streets. Ugh, Jesus.
Dear God. Hey, appreciate everybody that's sitting here with us. Do us a favor, please. Whether you're watching as part of the live crew or watching this later as part of the replay gang, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Damn, Sean, there you go.
I know, that's why I started laughing.
Can't sleep with personality. Gotta wake up.
Yeah, nobody wants to have morning sex with personality.
Well, you also don't want to have more than sex and her face is on the pillow next to you.
I'm just saying. No one's waking up like, ooh. Yeah. No one's fantasizing a personality. It just doesn't happen. I haven't seen that on YouPorn. I haven't seen a personality episode.
Apparently, a lot of people feel that way. Elsie Charm. I want a man who thinks I'm fine because that transfers to the bedroom. Yes, and then when you get out, there's nothing to talk about.
Hey, what's there to talk about? You want something to eat? Good. You just move on. But
by the way, IL says she's giving a pass to Joshua because this was his first time acting up. He's been pretty pleasant the rest of the season, but Lexi already had 2 other ugly incidents.
She did, but why did he have to seem like it bothered him that she said all those things? You don't care. Mm-hmm. You're about to eliminate her. Like, what does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's probably, we got the edited version of it, and it's probably just that thing that, certain things eat away at you, and somebody just decides to push that button, and it feels like she pushed that button with him in that one.
Apparently.
Yeah. All right. Next up was James. Such a drama queen, man. Because here's the thing. He's trying to describe the mood of the house. And why on God's green earth is Bravon still catching strays?
Yeah, I thought that was messy because James said with Bravon being out the house, maybe they could bring the energy back up. Like, why you got to say all that?
Right.
Let Bravon alone. We know y'all don't like her. You and your mom didn't like her and were mean to her. It is what it is.
Yeah. By the way, side note, Sabra, nice without makeup, nice with makeup, can't jump rope for shit.
What, you didn't like her? You didn't like her jump rope style?
You know that awkward kid that can't do it in gym? That's what she looked like. Try again. It was terrible. It was terrible. But James is having a conversation with his mom, right? With Charize, and he tells her that he's happy that she got the woman he didn't like out of the house. And he wants to make a pact with, okay, he didn't put it exactly that way, but he wants to make a pact with her that they should consider each other's feelings.
Right.
Good idea?
It's a good idea. At this point, it's down to 2. Mm-hmm. So I think James is trying to cover both his bets.
Mm-hmm. Well, we find out they're going to do that future planning session, right? And I like the way they did this one. We did it with the boards. And here's how it lined up. Sabra said God and faith, family, health, career, money, travel, and children. Mm-hmm. Right, which lines up very close to James, who had God and faith, family, health. He flipped money and career, and then the travel and children to round it out. Right. Then Alicia, which we knew this was going to happen, you could kind of see it because everybody is saying this. Everybody's kind of feels like they're saying the same thing. All right, we've got to do this first and this first, right? And this second. But she says family first, God and faith, health, career, money, travel, children.
Yeah.
And, of course, at this point, Charize becomes the mean girl, right?
Yeah.
She says her family puts God and faith first. But apparently, Matthew 7:1 is not in her Bible.
Yeah, judge lest ye be judged. Yes. Well, that's just it. There's nothing like a judgy Christian.
She is judgy AF.
Yeah, judgy Christians are the worst.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. But for Charize to have this type of attitude, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
To me. I just don't get that. And it's not fair to Alicia.
It's nuts. And this is where I really, Katina, you're safe now. Charize is taking that.
Yeah.
She became, oh my God. I mean, so she starts to grill Alicia. What do you think about James's board since you're opposite? They're not opposite. They're two things that they're opposite. They had flipped. 2 things they had flipped, but she's only focused on one. The God and family.
Yep.
Right? And does she ask, how do you practice your faith, or do you practice at all?
Mm-hmm.
she's just mean. And then when Alicia gives her an answer, and she goes and says, her mom always shares the word with her. Yeah. She has the nerve to say that I think your mom is your God. Who says that?
Charize. Yeah, she's awful. That's just and I don't care if you can be as religious as you want to. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with people who are overly religious. Mm-hmm. I feel like people, if you're going to be Christ-like, try to be open and be something that people want to be like.
Yeah.
But don't judge people and put them in boxes because they're not as good, in your eyes, they're not good enough. And I think that's what Charize is doing. So her attitude is terrible that she has in a situation. And I'm glad James stepped up and said something to Charize, but it would make me wonder, like, how many times does he have to step up and say something to her? If I'm Alicia and Sabra, how often do I got to deal with this?
It's because it's people like Charize why a lot of people stay away from church, because that kind of judgment,
right?
Always, that holier than thou mentality. Their thought process is just so off-putting, and not what they preach,
right?
Because what they're preaching is one thing, but what the actions are all unchristian-like. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Not okay says she can't stand Alicia. She's trying to set her off. Yeah, she is. And I like James. James stands up for her in that moment, like you said. But of course, Charize is not going to get off that horse.
Right.
He tried to defend you, girl.
Yeah. He's just trying to defend you, girl. Yeah, she's just a mess. And I just understand. It's disappointing because I had a whole different perspective of Charize and James's relationship up until this episode. Yeah. But watching this, I'm looking at Charize like, who would want to be your daughter-in-law? Who would want to listen to this crap all day?
Why are you calling this grown woman girl like that? Because very condescending your way you're doing it. That's ain't the homegirl girl when you're bashing and trying to talk down to her.
Yeah.
It's just disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alicia should just be like, you know what? Let me just let myself out. Yeah. I'm good.
If I were her, she should have done it a little differently. F you. Don't call me girl. Jesus said that. Here's the interesting thing, though. James tells us he doesn't think that Charize even knows that she offended Alicia.
No, she doesn't, because she's in her world.
She knows. She did it on purpose.
No, but she doesn't care. Like, she's in her world. I'm gonna say whatever. I'm not worried about anyone else's feelings. This is what I believe, and I'm just gonna say it, and everyone has to deal with it. Yeah, that's what she's like.
By the way, IL says Alicia's mom is her God. That is Christian principles. Most people just go to church and don't know the depth of the Bible. What Charize said is accurate.
No, that's in your opinion. What Charize said is accurate. What's in the Bible was also used to justify slavery and was also used to justify women being less than men. So please don't come to this channel and try to tell us all that bullshit. If that's what you believe, awesome. You practice that on your own, but not in here. We're not doing that. It's scripture, so it's real. Bullshit. Jesus didn't write none of that shit. Yeah. It's someone else who said, you know what? I think this... Don't even get me going. Sorry.
No, I like this. Let's get you going. Because it's fact, and it changes. If the word is the word, it can't change church by church, and it does. So let's be real, right?
100%.
It's all interpretation at the end, and the people. Oh, it's a hard way to read this. Let's write it better. The Lord be knowing. The Ebonics Bible. Here we go. There's another one, so we can get more people in here.
Yeah. No, sorry.
I thought James, when he got off with Charize and they went and sat down to talk, I thought he handled it very well. He was fair. He was respectful in the way he spoke to her about what she did to Alicia and how she was favoring Sabra.
I agree, because he even called it out. You asked more questions of Alicia and pretty much not so much of Sabra. And then Charize's attitude went crazy, and she's like, that's your perception. That's your perception. And then James said, will you stop talking, please? I was impressed, because I can't say that to my mom, and I'm 50. I can't look at her and say, will you stop talking, please? I can't pull that off. So I was like, look at James.
Yeah, you know what happens next. Can you stop talking, please?
Terrell, wake up. Wake up.
That is funny and very true too. He does ask Charize to smooth things over with Alicia though, and we all know this isn't going to go well, right?
Yeah.
But he does pick Sabra for the date, and did you notice that Sabra called James her man? Now, granted, she didn't do it in front of him, in front of anybody else, but she calls him. Well, I'm going with my man, and she was the first one to throw shade on Bravon when Bravon said it.
Right, but Sabra knew that everyone knew James didn't like Bravon. So that was all of them piling up on Bravon. They're like, what? You're a man? No.
The interesting thing is that this is when I realized I don't like Sabra either. She's in the same boat as Charlize for me right about now. The Joker is quickly becoming a non-favorite of mine.
Charlize reminds me of a PK. PKs, right? Preacher Kids.
She Charlize or Sabra?
I'm sorry, Sabra reminds me of a PK. She seems to be this nice, sweet, innocent, whatever. And there's just something there. Don't know what it is yet. Maybe we'll find out more as we go, but there's just something that doesn't sit right with her.
If there's a part, and I think it's hidden behind, and I call it a Joker for a reason, because that smile gives me Joker vibes, and now you can't unsee it. But it's right. Monica says she knows Charlize doesn't like Alicia. Yes. And so she's like, okay, it's just down to the two of us. I know he likes her, but now I got to do my part. And that's what she's going to do, right?
Right. Right.
The butterfly date. They go to see the butterflies. What'd you think of this date?
It's whatever. I mean, if you're into that I think that was great. What bothered me the most about this date is just how clueless James is and how much game he doesn't have.
Yes. He is terrible. Because here's the thing. Sabra, like you said, the PK vibes, but she did when they get away from daddy and all right, let's go get wild. She put on the short skirt, she put on the heels, show off the legs. She's ready. Right. She's sitting down next to him on the bench, and she's got her legs crossed in a manner to open up body language. Right.
Yeah.
Open to him. Meanwhile, this fool is over there with his legs crossed the wrong way, shutting himself off to her.
Sitting there at a distance, just further away from.
And then when, even though James says she was super thirsty, the interesting thing is that as she scoots over, she gets a little closer. He's like, "What? You nervous?"
Right. Like, no, she's trying to come in so you can kiss her. That's what all that physical means. She's getting close to make it easier for you.
I make you nervous?
Are you nervous? Do I make you nervous?
Oh, and it just gets worse from that. They get up and start walking around, and it gets really worse, right?
It does get worse because they get up. She asks him, how do you feel about a kiss on the first date? He goes, are you asking me for a kiss right now? Because technically this isn't the first date. She's letting you know she wants you to kiss her.
Yes.
And then he's like, well, look, if you just want to kiss, just say you want to kiss. And she goes, yes, I want to kiss. And then he does it again. Well, great. That's all you got to do is just say something. She finally just says, screw it. I'll do it myself. Come here. Grabs his head and kisses him. I'm like,
she turned into Thanos.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, I'll do it myself.
Come here, you tall bastard. Oh, that is hilarious. By the way, your friend James, Sean says, James is smothered. I wonder how much fathering he has. I mean, is that going to determine whether he knows how to have game or not? I know a bunch of people who had dads that they ain't got no game either. Or their game is trash and they treat women like shit. So let's not even go there.
Right.
All right?
Great.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that one. That's wild, though. It's literally her begging for the kiss. Meanwhile, and by the way, Tamara, we're going to get to your question there. I like that question. Yeah, buddy. Alicia and Charlize back at the house, right? Mm-hmm. And Charlize just can't help herself, man. Again, Bond villain number one, for real. I said Lexi first, but no, Charlize takes the cake. She is all of them roll up in one. Because Alicia says, I wrote you a letter, and her immediate response is, oh, Lord. What? Now, I mean, I would understand if she did that when Alicia was lying in that letter. Because Alicia says, I know you don't have any malicious intent. Yes.
She does. Yeah, she does. She's judgy as hell. But here's the thing, is that Charlize was not receptive to any of this at all. No. And I think Charlize was listening to respond instead of listening to comprehend. I don't think she really took in and understood everything that Alicia was saying. And Alicia starts out great. And then she says, about the things that she feels Charlize commented on that she doesn't like. And she brings up tattoos. Charize says, "Oh, you got tattoos? I didn't even notice. So I never said anything about your tattoos." with attitude.
Such a kid.
Yeah, I never said anything about your tattoos. Just with an attitude. I'm like, you're the adult. You're the older person in the group.
No, she isn't. She just has more years on Earth. She's not the
you're,
adult.
You're the older person and the Christian that's supposed to be Christ-like. And no, don't buy it at all.
Joy says Charlize has no self-awareness and listens to nothing anyone says. Absolutely not. I mean, and she tells us, right? I feel like my directness and bluntness is misunderstood. No, it's not. We heard you loud and clear from the beginning.
Maybe we say it like this. Hey, Charlize, God told me to tell you. You need to ease up a little bit and stop being so judgy. He sent me here to tell you this. This has been in the works for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
We started the podcast 2020. All this was to get you to listen to this message.
Yeah.
God wants you to stop doing this.
Well, or you just have to write it in the Bible, because Charlize tries to spin her hurtful words saying that she relies on scripture.
You're just going to pencil it in real quick.
A note from Pastor.
Yeah, the P.S. from Matthew.
Now, IL says, I appreciate Charlize's honesty. It's called the fruit inspecting. Is it?
Is it? The fruit inspecting? No, that's judging.
It's judgy, and it's
that's bananas saying you're not looking at apples going, y'all ain't shit.
It's interesting because her apology is crap. Her apology is that of a toddler, right? We know she didn't mean any of it. And if we had any doubt that she didn't mean any of it, she further proves it by saying, what else do you want me to apologize for?
What else you want me to apologize to your monkey ass? That's like someone said, I'm going to give you your funky $20 when I Friday.
That is hilarious. Yo, it is so bad. I swear to you, man. Charlize was mean the last episode, but this time, oh my God, she really got me.
Yeah.
She really got. I was so irritated watching this.
Yeah, I was too.
And I haven't been a fan of Alicia anyway, right? But the way she treated her, Alicia was the adult in this moment.
Yeah. Alicia came to her like a grown woman. Yeah, I had a problem with some things that you said to me, and was really honest and nice about it. And was just trying to create a dialogue where Charlize just wanted to continue to judge and just say, hey, well,
yeah,
you're going to hell, so no point in us talking.
Right, exactly. Couple things here. One, appreciate everybody that's in the chat right now. Do us a favor, whether you're part of the live crew or you're watching later on as part of the replay gang and hitting us in the comments, do us a favor. Please hit that like button too, okay? We do appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Told you I was going to get back to this. And, Charlize and the good word kind of took us out of this conversation for a second. But shout out to Tamara. Thank you very much for the super chats. And a couple came up here, right? It says, question, would you ever date a Canadian? I am in a relationship, but you would be married by now. We have passports, which is a big thing for you, passports and travel.
So when we first started doing the podcast, there was someone from Canada that DM'd me. And we started messaging, we had a few FaceTimes, but it just never really worked out. So the hard part about that is I need time to be able to see you and see it on a regular basis. It's not as easy to go to Canada every 2 weeks or whatever, nice. Because
if you were in Michigan, you just drive over.
Yeah, if I was in Michigan, but I'm in Austin, Texas. That's not a drive. And so absence doesn't always make the heart grow fonder. I need to be able to see somebody on a regular basis. So it'd be hard for me to date somebody outside of the United States.
Right. So England's out then.
No, I wouldn't do that.
By the way, Elsie Charm is funny, but saying he's in a relationship, right? So which Tamara came back with another super chat. We appreciate you for the super chats, and say I have to apologize. I didn't know you were in a relationship. My bad, Terrell. I have not caught your recent lives.
Oh, it's totally cool. Like I'm
See,
not bothered
I know
by
that.
it.
That's why I brought this up.
Yeah,
See?
and my girlfriend doesn't watch the podcast.
So he's like, go ahead and put your number in there. I'll send you back a super chat. I can't. Jesus. Even though not okay, it's like Terrell's like, I see $5. Is there 10? Going once, going twice. I'm sorry, I can't take anything serious. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. So yeah, it's totally fine.
Oh my God. Lisa says, I'm super late. Did y'all already discuss how absolutely slow this show is? Well, we discovered the fact that it was a double episode this week and nobody knew until Terrell didn't find out till he already got done watching the second episode. And I'm like, hey, so did you see this? What
are you talking about?
Yeah. So yeah. Oh my God. All right, last house we got to get to because we've already been through by the way, Lisa, we already went through two of the houses. We went through Joshua's house, we went through James' house, and since you're super late, you definitely got to go part of the replay gang and understand who the real villain of this season is, right? Because there was a time when we thought it could have been Katina, especially when she was jumping in the comments mad at everybody. And see, Katina, if you just wait a while, like you said from the very beginning, just wait a while, somebody else is going to take that from you. All you got to do is wait. Somebody else is going to show up, show out, and all of a sudden, you're the good person again. Because I'll be honest, I have a completely different view, and I feel differently about Katina a whole lot. Not like I felt bad, any mal intent to her before, but I have a better understanding of her now, right? And I feel like this show did her well. We'll get to that in a second, but it first starts off with Chad. When we see him first, he says, somehow I found myself sleeping in Jasmine's bed. Somehow? Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Now, the good thing is, at least the next morning, he didn't give it a cold shoulder like he did Paige after their date. And then your girl, Lauren, out there being the nosy Rosie and asking him about, and those were her words, just making sure you get that. Don't want you attacking me because I said that.
No, I'm going to defend Lauren, but go ahead.
I know you are. But, I like what she did. She was like, hey, let me ask you all about the date. Then they didn't say anything, but she was picking up on the clues.
Well, what was really interesting is that Lauren's asking these questions, but she can just see the vibe. Mm-hmm. And I still blame Jasmine because the reason she had Chad go to her room, because she wanted to get caught.
Right.
If she'd have went downstairs to Chad's room, no one would have been the wiser. Mm-hmm. She wanted eventually, this is going to be great. It's a power move on her. So Jasmine knows what she's doing, but I don't blame Lauren for being nosy because he was all up in Lauren's face. Yeah. Day or so ago. And then now he's all standoffish.
Yeah. Not okay. Lauren looks so beautiful with no makeup. Terrell, what do you say?
She does. She does.
Yeah.
Lauren looks amazing without makeup. Yeah. She sure does. She knows it.
Chad and Katina, we see them talking. And again, I really like this experiment for Katina, right? Because she gets to spend more time with her son than she has since 7th grade, right?
Yeah.
And this is where she gets to find out things about him, seeing him and getting to know him as a man, but also find out that he likes his coffee black, but his women hella cream.
Yeah. What? He likes yellow bones. That's it. What's wrong with that? That's his thing.
She didn't say that part, but we've noticed.
That could be his thing. Who cares?
By the way, IL is at least agreeing with you on this. Didn't agree with you on the church thing, but says Jasmine wanted to get caught.
Thank you.
See, it works. It works.
Yeah. Jasmine needs Jesus. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of. She should have been in the other house. Imagine if that happened in Charlize's house. Ooh, that would have been. Now that would have been good TV producers. What
that would have been. She'd have come in there with some anointed oil, trying to like put the hands on people. Get behind me, Satan.
Look, they have the future planning, right? And to be fair, one, they did this first, and I hated the way they did this. I wish they would have done it with the boards like they did with Charlize and James. But Jasmine says, God and faith first, health, family, career, travel, money, children. And she says she wants to do something she loves and not just punch a clock.
Yeah, I remember when I was 24. I want to do something I'm passionate about, not just have a job. I want to career. Stop it.
Lauren says, God and faith, health, family, career, money, travel, children. And she put the children last, which she expects to be a surprise to Chad.
Because she thinks that Chad is, at his age, he wants, as Chris would say from Never Ever Met, cheering. So, so she thinks maybe Chad wants cheering right now.
I'm sorry, Chris. You're catching strays over here, too.
Well, you know how you sound. I said it.
There you go again. Now, Paige, on the other hand, had her list was identical to Chad's. God and faith first, health, career, family, children, money, travel.
Right.
And he chooses her for the date because their goals are identical. But I got to ask this question because I thought about this as I watched this one first, right? We saw this episode first. Well, this future planning session first.
Right.
Are we really believing everybody except Alicia has God and faith first on the top of their list?
Well, they're trying to make us believe that because it's on TV.
Okay.
They got to play a part.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry. I don't believe that everybody, if they were just amongst their friends, that's what they're going to put down.
I know what you heard me say on the show, but here's what I really think. It'd be money, career.
Practicing for churn.
Yeah. Practicing for churn. And then, God, faith, family.
Yeah. Exactly. We know that's not what it'd be. So this date, Chad and Paige, they go-kart racing.
Yep.
What'd you think of their date?
I mean, racing go-karts is fun. What was funny to me is after they sit down after racing go-karts, Chad was like, yeah, I had a strategy. She's like, yeah, I know. That's how I won.
And he's like, that's why you ain't going to win this.
Yeah, you ain't winning this. Yeah, she's like, I know. That's why I won. She's going to remind him, yeah, I won.
Yeah.
So that competitive streak she has, I think is dope.
You see, you would like that. I would like that. Chad, on the other hand, does not like that.
No.
But one of the things that Paige does like, she says she likes that Chad stands on business with his opinion and doesn't back down easily.
Yeah, because his opinion, he's not interested in you. And there's nothing you're going to say to make him back down.
I almost feel like she was just saying that because remember, she was kind of off put by his answer like all the women were, right?
Yeah.
And then he did backpedal. He tried to BS us with his explanation for what he was saying, which was BS. But he then does some more gaslighting here with Paige, telling her that he felt like she was friend zoning him. Starting with the picture when they were doing the photo shooting, he was going in for a hug, and she gave him a high five. No, you weren't. You're trying to hide behind the bedpost.
Yeah, he thought that she was treating him like one of the homies. Mm-hmm. But here's what's funny to me is that I don't understand why he said all this because he's not interested in her. Yeah. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not interested. But then to tell her that, you want her to be a bit more affectionate, to help you know where she's coming from. I thought that was messed up, but I loved how Paige came back and she says, hey, well, I didn't know how you felt after our first date because we never got a chance to talk about it. And then the next day you're spending more time with other ladies, but you want me to be more affectionate. I was like, yes, Paige, yes.
I did like the way she did that. She held his feet to the fire for that one. And I'm glad she did. Right?
Yeah.
Then the next thing we see, it's nighttime and here's the interesting thing. Everybody's down in the area. Chad is still off to himself. All the women are sitting together, right? Around the bar, and Lauren's off at the table, and they're having fun. It's a nice fun time.
Yeah, just being silly.
Yeah, dancing, being silly. We see who's got rhythm, who doesn't. We know Chad had none. He didn't have to prove it. But then he just pops a serious attitude. He becomes a party pooper saying, and he tells us he has to take them serious. He doesn't feel like they're being serious and are more focused on becoming best friends.
Yeah. I mean, Katina was even trying to get him to participate. She said, come on, Chad, you have to do it. No, I don't. I'm doing anything. Like, why would anybody want to be around that type of energy?
Right. And then Paige fills us in a little later about how, because that was the first thing we saw. But then we didn't realize how bad it got later when he kind of goes off on them, right? And I know we get two parts of it because we get a little bit here, we get a little bit when she's talking to Lauren later. But let's put it all together right here, right? In that moment, what did he say to them again that just set everything off?
He told them that y'all in here kikiing, but at the end of the day, somebody has to win.
Yo, like
that's what he said.
Ooh, I almost messed up. Ninja, you are not the prize. You are not DJ Academics. You are not the prize. Yeah, you caught that, huh? It was so bad. Like, I mean, that's him getting too into himself and forgetting that these women have to choose you too.
Right.
That is crazy. Well, interesting that after that, he goes to he goes to talk to Paige goes to talk to him and give him a hug.
Right.
And we see him shrug her off.
Yep.
And again, the other thing we find out later is what was said in that moment, which is even worse than what we saw. Right?
Yeah.
I don't need all that.
Yeah, I don't need all that. No. Go on now. Go on now.
Apparently, while all this is happening, Lauren decided to take a bath. Not a shower, but a bath.
Yes,
an hour-long bath. B-A-F-F.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
So when she realizes, obviously the producers filled her in on what happened, she says, let me go check on Jasmine. Even though Paige is probably the one that needs consoling, let me go check on Jasmine since she's in her bedroom.
Jasmine was closer because Paige was downstairs.
There's that too.
Yeah.
But she goes in there, walks in, and this is where the episode ends. Episode 9 ends, and we actually roll right into 10. She walks in and notices Chad lying in the bed, even though she didn't call him Jesus Christ.
Here's what blows my mind on this. Lauren locks on the door.
Yeah.
Jasmine gets up, goes to the door, and goes outside. So I'm thinking, smart, close the door. Hey, Lauren, what's up, girl? I was just going to bed. I'm chill. She could have made a whole bunch of different excuses.
Right.
All of a sudden, the door opens, and it's Lauren and looks like a producer.
Yep. Well, remember, she jumped up out of the bed and went to the door first, but then let them in. Yeah.
But let them in because Jasmine wanted to get caught. She's like, this is excellent. Yeah, girl, come on in.
Now, Gina 43 says, boss move, Lauren. Or was that a boss move by Jasmine in that moment? Like, let me let y'all see what's happening in here first. I'm okay. Let me show you why.
Yeah. It was like Smokey from Friday. Hey, Craig, who's that bitch?
IL says she opened that door wide. Y'all need to see me?
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, that was kind of wild. So the next morning, Katina goes to talk to Chad, right? Calls him out for his little 3-year-old tantrum that he threw the night before. And I like what she said. I love you. You're my son. But, Ninja, I'll bust your head. She didn't go that far, but she should have.
Well, yeah, but it's great that you love him and all that stuff, but y'all aren't that tight. You didn't realize that your son's a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah. But she got to realize a little piece of it because he finally admits that he spent the last 2 nights with Jasmine and that the night before, Lauren caught him in Jasmine's bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because the way she kind of worded the whole thing about him and his self-control, it almost made it feel like Jasmine lured him into her bedroom, right? But to be fair, number 2, he initiated that whole, hey, spend the night with me, trying to get her to go to his room, away from the other women, so he couldn't get caught.
That would have been the smart move.
Yep.
And he came and you come upstairs. Okay. Yeah, that's why you got caught.
Yep. Quinn Tupeti says, hilarious how this fool tried to hide from Lauren by putting a pillow over his face. I know, right? She won't see the rest of my body in this bed.
That's like a toddler playing hide and seek, doing like this.
Oh, that was hilarious. Interesting because downstairs, we now see that Lauren is filling in Paige on Chad's late nights creeping activities, right?
Yep.
And Paige is like, wait a minute, and gives her some more details on what happened. Like, yeah, well, I tried to console him, and now hearing that he's doing this, like, you can see the kind of confusion and hurt in her face, right?
Yeah, yeah. And she said this is giving F-boy vibes.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was in her bed, now I think they only know of that one night. They don't know that he was in there the night before.
Right.
When I would love to hear their opinion after they've watched this episode to see all that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really interesting. And Jasmine's the one that annoyed me the most after all this.
Yes.
Because she's the one that saw the emotion. I'm sorry, I don't like to hurt people. Stop it. You know exactly what you're doing. Don't give us what do we call those? They're not WWTs. What do we call those?
What we call those? Those are just fake tears. We're just gonna go call because it's almost like she took some onions, rubbed them on her eyes, and said, "Let me go down there and cry now." Because here's the thing: she tells us she doesn't like to hurt people, but remember, after the first night, and they were downstairs in the kitchen, she's like, "I don't have to tell them anything because
Right.
You were all too happy to do all that. Stop acting like this now." And even when she was talking with Paige, and she's like, what happened last night really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And
Your
Paige
feelings.
looked like snitch.
Yeah, your feelings. And even Lauren, I love how Lauren told us, like, look, it is what it is. You don't have to cry about it.
Yeah.
You did what you did.
Oh, maybe that's what we call them. DQTs. Drama queen
Drama
tears.
queen tears.
It's interesting, man, the whole thing. So then now Chad has a conversation with Katina about clearing, but he needs to clear stuff up with these women, right? But he does tell us that he should have probably dropped off the side of the bed so that Lauren couldn't see him. It wouldn't have worked either because check the other side.
No, I love how he says how I can smooth things over. No, dude. Sometimes you go too far.
Yeah.
And you just got to just deal with the consequences. You're not fixing it. And what you're trying to do now is nowhere near going to fix this.
Right. He sits down with Paige. He apologizes for his actions. And do you give him credit for telling Paige that she did nothing wrong when she tried to hug him?
No, but it's irrelevant at this point.
True.
It's because Paige knows you were in Jasmine's bed, so you let Jasmine console you, but you didn't want me to.
Right.
So, and you asked me to do this.
Yeah.
You wanted me to show you more affection. I did that, and this is how you act. So,
I actually, it's a great point that you brought because I actually wrote her words down. She said, "You asked that of me, and I gave you that." And then she gave him a warning: "Don't ask me to do something that you're not going to give back, mother." Okay, that's how she should have said it.
Yeah.
Then he goes to sit down with Lauren. And I thought he started off wrong when he goes in the kitchen and she's, he's like, "What you doing?" "Okay, come talk to me." I was like, "Who you talking to? Tara gonna kick your ass."
You ain't talking to Lauren like that. But you see how Lauren was like, okay. Then she sits down and she's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to jump right in." So she took control to let him know she's in charge.
Right.
You're not in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in charge. And Lauren let him have it. She's like, "You're looking a little suspect."
Wasn't it like watching a big sister explain to her little brother what he did wrong?
Yeah. And then this fool stood to be like, "Well, look, I really like you." And she's like, "Ninja, what?"
Yeah. And the look on her face when he said that was like, okay, hold up. It was kind of wild. But we get to Chad and Katina sitting down to talk about the decision because their decision has to be made, right? And Katina says, "Okay, who do you have in mind?" And he says, "Jasmine and Lauren."
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, let's get Paige out. This is our window."
You notice Katina's face went and like, "Oh, well, this is going to be a little," because it sounded like she was ready to cut Lauren because she knows Lauren ain't going to be there for that BS.
She knows Lauren's a grown woman. She's not putting up with that. Like if all the girls were 24, they would all let that slide. That he spent the night in the girl's bed. Yeah. Lauren, she's not playing that, man. She's not playing that game.
They go out. Katina's ready to go. Okay, let me go ahead and do what I don't want to do, and I'll be the bad person. Let me do that. And before she could get it out, Lauren steps. I think I see what's happening here. Can I
allow me to interject? Allow me to, and I'm just thinking, yes, because that's what like a boss. That's who Lauren is. This is what makes her dope.
Yeah,
I love that personality. I love her personality.
I like how she said, "I choose myself."
Yeah,
and because she knows I'm like, there's no romantic connection here. This ain't it. Yeah. Is it? Quinn Petty says, I suspected Lauren was done after that debacle. Still loved how she left. No need to go back. Chad, it wasn't worth it. It definitely wasn't worth it, right?
No. I wasn't surprised Lauren didn't look back. Paige, pack your shit too. Let's go.
She should have. She should have. The problem is she didn't, and they would have tried to make her the villain if she did. But Paige should have had enough. I don't want to say self-worth because I'm not thinking that that's the problem.
Yeah.
But she should have at least gotten up and walked the hell out too. Because I'm sorry, there is no way that she should have still sat there and accepted the offer to stay in the house. Katina's face told you were about to be eliminated anyway.
Right. You're about to be gone, so you got to go ahead and stay anyway. What shot do you think you have? Mm-hmm. You try to give him a hug. He pushed you away.
Yeah.
To go lay up in Jasmine's bed. Mm-hmm. What shot do you think you have?
IL says Lauren is an awesome role model for women. She models self-value.
Yes, she is an awesome role model for women. I'm just agreeing. I'm not saying. I'm just agreeing.
Yeah, sure you are. Just because since I was waiting for Terrell's comment on Lauren's exit, I knew he would love it.
I'm not religious, but how do y'all say it? Lauren is blessed and highly favored.
Story Simone shares says, I thought Paige would have left too. Paige just isn't sure of herself yet. Yeah, which is bad, right? It's interesting because a couple things happen here too. Because Katina, in her way to try and still protect her son, says, hey, Lauren did it to protect her feelings. No, she didn't. She did it to protect his feelings.
Yeah. Because your son's not ready. Katina, your son is not ready for a Lauren. Give him a little young 20-something and let him work with that. He's not ready for
24-year-old.
Yeah, he's not ready for a 35-year-old woman who knows who she is. Mm-hmm. He's not ready for that.
But, not only is he not ready, he's delusional. Because he's still thinking he had a chance with Lauren. He didn't have one we said this in the beginning. We said in the beginning, you have no shot. Her body language said it from the beginning. All right, well, shit, I'm here. Might as well play the game.
Yeah. You had zero chance. Wasn't going to happen, Chad. Sorry.
Did you catch Lauren's shade at the end? Because as she's hugging Jasmine on the way out, she goes, if you can't be good at being bad.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yep. She definitely said it. Here's the thing. James says Paige was given Lauren her moment, and she will walk out in the morning. It does kind of look something's going to happen because the preview for the next episode shows that Chad is going to tell her, yeah, I'm just not attracted to you.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the first thing in the morning. After the elimination. I don't think that's the first thing in the morning.
Yeah, it could have been over breakfast. He's pretty salty over breakfast with Paige. We've seen that a couple times. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Monica, you're absolutely right. He thinks he is the prize, and he is not. And that's the problem. But this is the way the show is set up. And I think the part that people forget is that they still have to choose you two. You can choose the person. And remember, this is the one thing Charize said. He could choose you, and you still not choose him when she was talking to Alicia the first time. Remember?
Yeah.
Great point. I don't think Chad knows that. I don't think he understands that part of it.
Well, I'm curious to see how this is going to go because I've been saying the whole time that Jasmine doesn't want Chad. She just wants to win. Mm-hmm. But if she really likes him and she's got the emotional connection, great. I wish them the best because that's who he wants. He's not interested in anybody else.
Right, at all. It's people have already picked who they want. The only person that hasn't picked somebody's Josh yet, right?
Yeah.
He likes Shambriel, but I think he's more attracted to Tamaris. We know he likes Lexi, but nobody else did. Joy says, Chad is a red flag. That nasty attitude in the kitchen the night before because the women are friends, along with his get back comment, is a double negative. Yes, that's the other comment, that get back. And he tried to BS us on what that means. Like we don't know. Like we don't have the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, we know what the get back is. You got to get your lick.
Yeah. Come on, man. All right. I just do want to. Do we want to go back to that one? No, I'm not even going to do that to you. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm gonna take that out. I'm not going to put you back in the church again. I'm just eliminating some of these starred comments and moving on. So
I'm down. I'm an open book.
We had. Let's see. The reunion's coming up for Never Ever Mets. So we're going to do that Sunday, right? That's the goal?
No, because Sunday, don't we have an interview with someone?
Oh, we sure do. You're right.
Right.
So couple things going to happen next week. So you're absolutely right. Thank you. This is why we have conversation before the show and discuss all of that.
I was like, don't we have an interview with someone? It's on my calendar.
What's a calendar? So here's what was going to happen, right? So we've got Never Ever Mets. We'll do that Monday. And then we've got Somebody's Son. Whether they decide to do 1 or 2 episodes, we'll find out Saturday. And then after that, I think either Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to drop our interview with Joshua Kalu from Somebody's Son. We definitely wanted to wait till closer till the end of the season. I know they wanted to do it before we got to the finale, so we're going to have Josh and Omar on, and got some questions for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this will be after we get to see what happens when he announces, finally tells them that he's an NFL player. So this is going to make it, this is why I didn't want to do the interview too early, and we were like, yeah, we don't want to do it too soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to talking to Joshua and Omar. Out of all the I keep saying couples, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
I like their vibe. I just think they just seem like cool.
They're fun.
And Oma, she totally lets Josh kind of pick what he wants. She's not that selective. The first girl, I think Oma got out real quick.
Yeah.
She didn't like her.
And we'll ask him about it, but when I did see him, he wasn't protesting too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that. So we'll have him on next week. Him and Omar on next week, and do us a favor, please. Hit that like button if you're not subscribed. Please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it because there's no way Tell would be watching any of this if it wasn't for you.
No, I wouldn't, but I have fun making fun of it.
And you have fun looking at
Lauren.
Yeah, see? I know.
Sorry, Lauren. I respect you. It's not just the looks thing. It's personality, demeanor. It's the whole package.
Is it? Because you said personality wasn't important.
No, I said only personality was not important. That's what they were talking about. Like me for my personality, not for my looks.
You said looks was the most important thing.
No, I see you got to have both. You got to have both.
All right, you
both of them.
BOFUM. Both of them. Hey, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at the RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts from the bullshit and funny internet. We'll talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.